Well, it looks like offensive coordinator Sean Lewis is on his way out. We're going to tell you what school and what impact it's going to have to CU. And what's next on this episode of Alpine Garage Sports. Well, this has been going around Colorado and college football for about half a season now as to whether or not we were going to see Sean Lewis back as the offensive coordinator in any role, really. And I think everybody knew that it wasn't going to happen. I mean, you can't come as the offensive coordinator to a brand new rebuilt team and then get somewhat demoted in the end of the season and then come back in any other role. So you knew this was going to happen. A lot of schools at that point probably starting to look at Coach Lewis at that point saying, hey, I bet you he'd make a great coach for our university. And it looks like it may have happened. So Pete Thamel of ESPN came out and said that expect tomorrow that on Wednesday that Sean Lewis is going to be named the San Diego State Aztecs' new head coach. Now, that said, I said it a couple of weeks ago, and I know a lot of other people have stated it as well. It seems like a pretty good fit for Sean Lewis. I don't have any ill will for the guy at all. And I'm just going to say it now, and I hope that you guys understand that I'm a CU buff through and through. I'll always be a CU buff. It doesn't matter what head coach is there. It's just always going to be that way. But there seem to be internal politics at the University of Colorado in all areas of the game. And I don't know that a lot of the coaches were able to do what they really wanted to do going into this season. And it didn't seem like we had a lot of continuity. The first 3 games were good. But then after that, obviously, we started to see the stress cracks. And I think at that point, it all settled in. But I digress just a little bit because next year will tell all. We had very high expectations going into season. The expectations were somewhat, I guess, limited going out of season. And so the expectation going into the next season are going to be a completely different set of expectations. So a new offensive coordinator would not be a bad thing. Now, the measurement here is going to be, are we going to see a change in the offense? And let's get into that in a second. First of all, let's talk about Sean Lewis potentially going to San Diego State. We paid Kent State $750,000 buyout in order to get him here. So we're already $750,000 in the hole. We paid him $2.7 million over 3 years, the first year being $850,000. Okay? So now we're into it, $1.7 million. And it looks like we are not going to be terminating Sean Lewis. He is going to be maybe San Diego State is buying out his contract. And in that particular case, Sean was making $850,000 this year. He owes the university $212,000. So we paid $1.7 million. We're going to get $212 back potentially. So we're going to be into it at $1.5 million for an experiment at offensive coordinator. Done. We're out. We're done. If this is the case and he is going to be leaving, let's call it good. $1.5 million in the scheme of things for Colorado is a lot of money. But for a lot of other universities, maybe it's not. So we're playing big boy ball now, and it costs big boy dollars. Sean Lewis going to San Diego State University, where Brady Hoke was the long-term coach, just got fired, was making about $1.275 million as a head coach. So very low-paid head coach. Sean Lewis is going to get a raise. He's going to go from $850 potentially to $1.5. Would they go higher than that, or will they not? I'll be watching that because I think that's interesting. I mean, he may go 1.65, double his salary, go to San Diego, which is the opposite of, weather and things like that. Very beautiful campus and a very good market being for football. And honestly, I think he's a good coach. I have a lot of respect for Coach Lewis, seeing what he's done in his coaching career, seeing what he did at Kent State, knowing that he is very well respected for his football mind, obviously because Coach Prime brought him to Colorado. I think he'll do well again as a head coach. I think probably some people are good in supporting roles and some people are good in overall leadership roles. And maybe Coach Lewis is that guy. Maybe Coach Lewis is better leading the team than being led in this particular case. So we'll find out. Who knows? All I know is that Colorado now gets a needed change to test what our fortitude is in the offense going into 2024. This is what I'm talking about. We were making a change at OC. Everybody was ready to run Coach Lewis out of Boulder because we only threw the ball and we had no running game and we had no offensive line. And he brought Coach O'Boyle with him, which was apparently part of the problem, right? That's what everyone seems to be jumping on. Now, we're going to make a change at OC. Who's it going to be? Byron Leftwich? I don't think so. He's got many opportunities. But it's going to be someone that Coach Prime respects, somebody that the rest of the coaching staff really wants in here, and somebody I think we need to be able to see whether or not going into 2024, are we going to establish a running game? Are we going to build an offensive line that can support the passing structure that we're trying to create with Shurmur? And if those two things do not come to fruition, then I think we know that there are politics bigger than the OC at Colorado. I think the next OC is going to come in. We're going to create a more balanced offense. And I think the writing is on the wall. I think all of the CU Buffs fans, all of the alumni have written it on the wall. You cannot have an unbalanced attack and be successful in the current state of college football. And so I think that's where we're going to be. So put your comments about Coach Lewis down below. Who do you think is going to be the new OC if you are that privy to, college football and maybe who's going to come into that position? And do you think they're going to bring a more balanced attack and a different scheme to Colorado? So tell me, what do you think? That's a wrap from Alpine Garage Sports. We will see you in the next video. And thank you for making Alpine Garage Sports part of your daily clicks.